My name is Wayne Barrows. When my parents moved to Exeter in the late 60s, my mother was looking to get involved with a community activity to embrace herself and meet new people. And she answered an ad for some others that were looking to start a program for children with disabilities, children that had some special needs and so forth. That's where she met the other founding mothers of the Richard McFarland Center. So at the time, my mother needed a place to bring me during the days, and so I was incorporated into Richard McFarland Children's Center as well. It was an effort to bring what they called typical students. And, I was at a point in my life where kids were just fun to play with. Didn't matter to me whether they had some sort of learning needs or disability needs. And I was fortunate to be friends with Richie McFarland. I also still have a couple of friends from that original class. I was part of the original Richie class. So it was an amazing experience for me as a youngster to be exposed to children that were living a different or following a different path that I was going on in schooling and so forth and in life. So I thought that might be the end of my connection with Richard McFarland. Flash forward to my wife Kristen and I having our first child, Anna, and she was born with a syndrome called optic nerve hypoplasia. She has a very low visual acuity, no depth perception. It came with some physical disabilities as well. And life just moves so quickly when you're faced with the diagnosis that your child is going to need some sort of services. When we were at our lowest point with that diagnosis, our pediatrician said, "Have you ever heard of the Richard McFarland Children's Center?" And it was amazing to me that we had come full circle. When you have a child that goes here and has the services or takes advantage of the services that they have here, then you really get to know the incredible work that they're doing here in Stratham. My daughter Anna is in 8th grade now. She is flourishing, most recently with just an all-A report card. She does need assistance to get around the school, but as a student, she does fantastic. And she gets along pretty good physically as well. And there's no question that the early intervention that we received here at Richard McFarland played a huge part of that. So much so that my wife Kristen and I decided that it was important for us to send our other 2 children here too. My son Cal, who's 12, and my daughter Ava, who is 9. We're both what would be classified typical students. But it was so important for us to send them here to understand not only what their sister was going through with some of the challenges she faced, but also to create empathy and understanding for other children that also might be going through similar journeys that Anna was going through. So I think the benefit that they received too was incredible. They're both compassionate and caring people, and I see them with friends that might not be labeled with that typical label. So, here we are, 3 beautiful children that all experienced Richard McFarland. Their father, who was, I guess for all intents and purposes, a graduate of Richard McFarland. My mother was a founder of Richard McFarland. My family has 3 generations of people that have been influenced and impacted by Richard McFarland.